Well, what's the crack? Welcome back to the Bad Movie Buff podcast. As always, I'm your host, Niall Brady. So this week, I'm joined by actor Calla Hughes, and we chat about her life as an actor on stage and on screen. So Calla is very successful. She's just off the back of her second run of The Importance of Being Earnest in the Lyric Theatre in Belfast, which I'd seen a few weeks ago, and it was absolutely class. And you might recognise her from How to Get to Heaven from Belfast. She's in 4 episodes of it, playing Garda Paul, who is like, if you remember Father Stone, I should really know the actor's name. Oh my God. Bad Movie Buff. It's because I'm shit at it. Yeah. Father Stone from Father Ted. It's like his partner in the show. So yeah, we were meant to chat about the film Bird, but I ended up like falling asleep when I went to watch it. So I was like, come on anyway, Calla, and we'll just chat about films in general and what it's like being an actor. Oh, also Calla's my younger cousin as well. So yeah, this is a great episode. Really hope you enjoy it. And yeah, as I said last week, I don't ask people enough to do this, but if you do enjoy it, drop me a wee like, subscribe to me on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you're listening to this on, and yeah, good luck. Okay, that's us rolling. What's the crack?
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast, Calla. How's things?
Grand. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Have you ever done a podcast before?
This is my very, very first podcast,
Nice.
so I feel very privileged
This would
that
be-
I'm with you.
Yeah,
doing
first of many, like, yeah. Yeah, so for anyone that doesn't know, Calla is my younger cousin.
Mhm.
And what is it? It's actually, I always thought the term was second cousin,
Yeah.
but it's
yeah.
actually, isn't it like first cousin once removed or something? I
Yeah,
think is the
so-
official term. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But none of that makes sense to me though. I
Mm.
don't know. You know all that removed stuff. I'm
Yeah.
like, I actually don't understand what that means.
I
but-
don't have a notion. It's just
Yeah.
like, it's one of those things I think came up in like a pub quiz once, and then, you know, there's always that one person that knows like one of these common misconceptions, and then
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
lords it over it.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not your second cousin.
Technically.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the crack. So obviously I think it was near about 2 years ago, I said to you, like, here, you have to come on the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've been home for a good while doing the second run of your show, The Importance of Being Earnest.
Yes.
So I just kind of
yeah.
nabbed you away, like, God, like, literally flying back first thing tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah, in the morning. So
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just double checking these lines here. Anyone that listens to this knows how paranoid I am. I'm just going to turn you up a wee bit there. Yeah, I think you go far away there. Keep talking.
Yeah. Is this working okay?
Yeah, should be.
Okay.
That's the good thing is, worst comes to worst, if it all goes tits up, I can just use the audio from the video, like,
yeah,
you know.
that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good plan.
But yeah, so the normal format of this podcast, as you know, is I'll have someone coming on to talk about a film, usually their favourite film, and then we'll kind of dissect it. And
Yes.
that's
yeah.
what we were meant to do.
Yeah.
But I shit the bed. So I was essentially...
It's okay.
Do you know what actually happened to me? I don't know if you noticed. It's actually not too bad now, but yesterday I went to play paddle, you know, like...
Oh, I've heard of this, but I've never done it before. But my best friend just did it, like played it a few weeks ago, and she was like, "Oh my God, you have to
Yeah.
get on it."
It's so much
But-
fun.
Yeah.
But it's like the new craze or whatever. So I played, I got rinsed by a load of old boys yesterday. And then when I got home, I was in the shower, and whatever I turned,
Mhm.
I like did my neck in.
Oh my
So-
God.
So I was walking around, like, you know, the Batman turn on. I think it's like the third podcast I've recorded after doing my neck in. I think there's something wrong
Yeah.
with
yeah.
my like physio or something. But I was, yeah, so I got back from that, and then
Mhm.
by the time I'd like locked a load of painkillers and all into me, sat down to watch this, and I was like, I'm not even going to make it past the
No.
opening credits. Like,
That's
so
okay.
I had to write to you today being like, can we please just have the crack? Like,
That's more than okay.
but there's plenty of stuff for us to cover.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna chat a lot of movie stuff, and so for anyone that doesn't know, Calla's a very successful actor. So we're gonna get into all your stuff as well, like, spotlights on you here, like. But yeah, so the film that you originally chose was a film
Yeah.
called Bird,
Yes. Yeah.
and so now, because I didn't watch it, I don't really know, but what I do know it from is, I remember when it first came out, the Empire podcast reviewed it and really, really liked it.
Mhm.
But is it the story of like a young girl who ends up kind of having like a drug dealer as a foster dad?
Yeah, so she it's like, it is her actual father.
Yeah.
But it's the situation, like her living situation, is that they're kind of squatters within a kind of building. In is it? Oh, it's in the north of England. I forget the actual location.
Okay.
But it sounds quite like dark from that like premise, but it's genuinely one of the most beautiful films I've ever watched.
Yeah.
And it's coming of age, that like genre, and that genre is literally my favourite film
great.
genre. Like nothing else compares in my head other than coming of age stories. But it follows a young girl called Billy who is trying to kind of navigate life by herself. Because the adults around her are not stable whatsoever. And she comes across this beautiful character that is kind of like a metaphor for a bird throughout the film. And he kind of shows her the kind of inner strength that she has. Is
that her dad in the story? Sorry.
That's not her dad.
No. Is Barry Keoghan the dad?
Yeah.
Yes,
so he's the dad. And like anything that he's in, I love, because I know that it's going to be interesting to watch and it's going to be extremely unique. I find him just like so interesting.
Yeah, he's great, isn't he?
Oh, he's so good. And then also, sorry, like sidetracking, but like Fontaine's, there's a lot of like Fontaine's DC music throughout the film, but then Carlos, is he like the guitarist?
The guitarist, yeah.
He's in it.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Well, that's mainly probably where I know the film from, is because the music video for their song Bug is all clips from the film.
It's all, yes, yeah. No, you're right. And so I watched it knowing Barry was in it, and then knowing that there was like Fontaine's music throughout. But then when Carlos was in it, I was like, since when are you an actor? Like that's pure class.
Unreal.
But it's an kind of different kind of film. The plot doesn't necessarily have a lot of energy to it, but it leaves you thinking about just yourself and about others. And I think it's a really thoughtful film, and I feel like films at the moment aren't super thoughtful in that kind of like slow paced.
Are you saying
way?
that Ant-Man 3 Quantumania isn't thoughtful?
Like, I mean, it's up to interpretation. But,
No, I completely get what you mean. Like, it does feel like a lot of the film industry is quite soulless, just like, oh, how much money can we make from this? It's all franchises as well, which, like, don't get me wrong, I kind of love a lot of the franchises, but
but they're class. I'm not dissing them either, you know.
But I think it is kind of turning in a kind of good way when you look at, well, like in the last year, 2 of my favorite films in ages came out, and that was One Battle After Another and Marty Supreme.
Oh, unreal! I've not seen either of them yet, but I will very soon.
Yeah, they're both very different. Like One Battle After Another, I'd seen it in the cinema, thankfully, and it's just like the pacing or something. You're just constantly like on the edge of your seat. It doesn't give you a minute to breathe. Actually, Marty Supreme's fairly similar, but it's also a bit stressful. Marty Supreme at the same time. But that's what I was going to ask you. Speaking of like coming of age films, any other ones that you'd recommend, or what's your favorite?
Well, going off of Bird. The reason why I chose Bird is because my favourite director directs that film, which is a woman called Andrea Arnold. But she also directs probably my favourite film that's had the biggest impact on me ever, is a film called Fish Tank. And it's, again, a coming of age story about a young girl, but it was the first film that I watched where I was like old enough to kind of take in the plot, because there's a lot to it. But the first kind of like female character that I watched that wasn't about being pretty and wasn't about kind of like trying to fit in. This character in Fish Tank is so unapologetically like raw. And I was like, oh my god, you can be ugly on screen, you can be angry, you can be rough, and like I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. So I loved that film. But then my second favourite coming of age film would have to be Submarine. Have you watched that? I think it's so you would love it.
I can picture the cover of it, but I can't. Is it like a guy with a kind of like a bowly haircut?
Yeah. And Richard, you know the comedian Richard Ayoade. He wrote and directed it.
No
and
way,
then the Arctic Monkeys did all of, well, not the band, but what do you call your man?
Oh, Miles.
You know, the lead singer.
Yeah, I was going to say Miles Teller there. I'm losing my mind here. See, as soon as these microphones turn on, I forget everything.
That's what I was stressing about today. I was like, my friends know, like, I can, like, talk away, but as soon as something like this happens, I'm like, I go blank.
Yeah.
But your lead guy and
Alex Turner.
He wrote beautiful music for this film.
Class.
And it's just so strange and weird, but it's brilliant.
You'll have to forgive me. I keep looking at the laptop.
That's okay.
Because I was saying off camera the amount of times that I've like recorded a podcast and then halfway through I'm like, this hasn't been recording. And I actually from Doc from the scratch, I actually had the laptop over here because I thought it would be pretty cool having a banjo in the middle or my bass in the middle or whatever.
Yes, I saw that.
I found myself, because I couldn't see it then, that's when I realised it wasn't recording. So I'm constantly going to be sorry in advance. But no, have you ever seen a movie called Rocks?
Oh my God, I love that film.
It's
about the girls in the secondary school, and it follows Rocks, like her story. Oh my goodness, it's one of the, I find it so mesmerising, that film, because I think there's only one cast member apart from some of the adults that had previous acting experience, and then the rest of the girls literally were just scouted
recruited from a
school.
Yeah.
And watching them act, I'm like, you're some of the best actors I've ever seen in my life, but you have no training or experience. And I'm like, that is the coolest thing, I think.
Because I hadn't, as I said, I hadn't seen Bird, but just from what you're describing there, I was like, that does kind of sound a wee bit like Rocks, like, which I haven't seen since it came out, and I kind of forget most of it, but I remember really enjoying it, like, you know.
Oh no, it's so good, and I love the kind of like modern aspect of it as well, because you can watch it and really relate to it as 100%. Well, you know.
No, you've missed, which is, it's not even a matter of opinion, the best coming of age movie of all time. Stand By Me.
Oh, beautiful.
So good.
Beautiful. And flipping heartbreaking.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
I actually haven't watched it in years. The book, it's like a Stephen King novella.
Is it? I didn't realise that.
I think it's called The Body or something, because you know the whole story is them walking along the train tracks to find the body. But it was, I knew that I was going to forget his name. You know the director that recently passed away, like directed like Princess Bride and all.
Yes, and his wife as well. Yes. Oh my goodness, I can't remember.
It's so annoying, isn't it?
My mind is gone.
The microphones, but it's so like literally as soon as I could stop recording this right now and it'll come straight away. But yeah, so he directed that, and yeah, it's so good. I think that's one I need to watch again. Like, but I always kind of, sometimes when I like a film so much, I'll almost not watch it that much because I save the rewatch, because I'll be like, it'd be better the longer I don't watch it. Yes,
because you come back to it and you're like, oh, I remember how good this was, rather than like overdoing it.
Exactly.
Kind of
like I haven't watched Lord of the Rings in like 5 years because I keep going, no, I'll save it. But then I just end up never watching them again. Like, you know. So would you say then Fish Tank is your favourite film of all time? I would say so. I think it just like encaptures. Oh, that's such a fancy word to use. I'm trying to be Rob Reiner. Chill. Sorry, Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner. That's him. Oh my goodness. Well, you'll just put like a subtitle up with like an asterisk, like Rob Reiner. Exactly. You were meant to say that. Sorry, I pure interrupted you there. Go on. I just find it so brilliant, and as much as like a lot of the storyline is hard, you do have to be in a certain mindset to watch it. It just is. I've never seen a film like it. And it's something that I will always come back to, that I'll never ever get sick of. And also, if I find that when I'm in a rut of like, oh, what am I doing, or is my acting not kind of, am I not moving
like far enough with my acting, I'll always go back to that film and watch it because it's so brave.
Yeah. It's class.
So yeah, it's not the happiest of films, but I watch it because it was so like monumental to me the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
So
no, that's good. I suppose it's like you could probably pinpoint where you were at in life when you first watched it and what you kind of wanted to do going forward. So like watching it maybe reminds you of that a wee bit or something.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah. And it kind of like reminds you of, you know, like, we can play all these amazing characters with acting, but there's something within that film that like literally speaks to like Calla inside, even though that my understanding of the world is not similar to the characters. Like I can't relate to what the character's going through, but just the way in which she is as her like individual self, I'm like, oh my god, I was this person at one time and I had this like bravery at one point that I've lost, but I can always like find it again. You know,
that's cool.
But yeah,
you see, like that is such a nice answer, and like that really makes me think, because like when I'm like need to kind of remind myself, I watch Austin Powers or something.
No, but everyone has their niche, you know. Like mine's the dark and sad, and you know yours may be different. But Austin Powers is class.
I love it. But yeah, so I also wanted to talk about like a lot of the work that you do, right? Because I've seen you in 4 things now.
Yeah.
So 3 of them have been stage productions, and then now one of them more recently we talked about is How to Get to Heaven from Belfast, which I still haven't finished, which I'm raging about. Like
same.
But so I think the first thing I seen you in was Beauty and the Beast.
Oh yeah.
Would that have been the first one? Yeah,
I'd say so. Yeah, with Bosco Drama Group.
It was I was just about to ask you because our Sean was obviously in it.
He was
as the prince.
As the
But so Sean was like well in the musicals at the time. Like so he did Legally Blonde, Legally Blonde as well, and he was very good in them both. Like
no, Sean's great in the shows. Like I think he's like missed a kind of like other route of his career, you know, like
absolutely, like
he could so do it.
Would have been all pre-COVID, those shows, would they have been? Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast, I remember I turned 18 the week we did the shows.
Okay.
And that would have been 2018.
Because you're literally
turned
born in the year 2000.
Yeah. So whatever year it is, that's what age I'm turning. So I'll never forget.
That's so handy. Like, that is so handy. Like, but I remember I kind of like laughing because obviously Sean was great in it as well. But I remember laughing because when the Beast, so he didn't play the Beast, he just played the Prince after the Beast turns into the Prince, and then there was like a singing role there. Or Sean doesn't have a fucking note in his head, like, so his singing was like dubbed over, and I remember, you know, just watch it being like, that's not fucking it.
It's not my brother. Can he do that?
But that show was great, like, and
it was so lovely.
So obviously you were the lead, you were Belle. You know, I've actually never seen the movie of Beauty and the Beast. Like,
it's great. It is really good. As in like the Disney one.
Yeah.
Like the proper like original.
Yeah.
Honestly, get watching it because it is so good.
One of my mates, Stefan, shout out to Stefan, don't think he listens to this at all, like, but he's weirdly obsessed with Beauty and the Beast as like a 32-year-old man. Like, I remember saying to him once, like what is it with you?
Yeah.
You know? And he's like, I think the line he hit me with, I was like, right, fair enough. But he is like, in work one day, he goes, it was the first animated film to be nominated for Best Picture, Niall.
Okay.
All right, Steph, chill out, man. But yeah, so I need to get watching that. But obviously, you were all class in it. How long did that run for? Like a week or two?
I would say it was probably like the guts of a week. That's what Bosco normally did.
Yeah.
It was always like, was it like a Monday to a Saturday or a Tuesday to a Saturday, something like that, and I never attended school during that week because Bosco was my life.
Yeah,
and I went, sorry guys, I'm not going to be here in school today because I've got a show tonight.
Nice, yeah.
Not during the day.
Yeah, right enough. Yeah, right enough. Yeah, but sure, you're hardly going to go into school and learn freaking ad maths or whatever. Like when you're up on stage. Like, what would be the first kind of big stage performance you would have done then?
I'm trying to think.
You're not allowed to count the P3 nativity play.
No, oh shit. Okay. Or you're allowed to swear?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
This would have been cancelled within 30 seconds if he couldn't swear. Someone said the first episode I ever did of this, one of my mates, Shane, his dad Hugh, listened to it. It's very good, but he is an awful foul mouth. I can't even help it. I think it's like a nervous thing, or like I don't know, maybe just overthinking it. And even when I'm like recording any type of content for the podcast, when I listen back to it, I'm like, how many times did I say the word like and how many times did I say fuck? Like, just this fucking fucking you know. So swear away.
Okay, cool. I would say the first time I actually had like a proper role that had lines and I could sing by myself was in secondary school, and I think I was second year, and we did The Sound of Music.
Oh, nice.
And I played Marta, which is basically the kid that nobody remembers in the Von Trapp family, but I was her.
Okay, fair enough.
So I did that in second year, but it took me a while until I was like comfortable enough to like go, oh yeah, I could maybe do like an actual lead role, because that's you know, like she's got solo lines or whatever. But then I would say my first proper main role where it was like, oh, you're the lead, not in an egotistical way, but literally just you're the main part, is I played the ugly duckling in Honk with Bosco, and I absolutely adored it.
How old would you have been then?
I think I remember I just got my braces off, and I think partly they cast me as the ugly duckling because of the braces, and then the week of the shows I had like this gleaming smile. I think I was 14 or 15, probably 15.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Must be nerve-wracking though, no?
It was. It wasn't. Because weirdly, just everyday life things panic me so much. But as soon as like I'm someone else, I'm literally so calm.
That's cool.
So I feel like playing those wee characters that were like silly and fun. Where, you know, it wasn't too stressful at that age, because you are young and you've got like, you have to really do well, because you know, they're giving you that responsibility. And I know it's not like professional or anything, but you still have to kind of like do well. But yeah, I guess I probably would have been very nervous, but
I think it was during, like, so that brings me on to the next thing I've seen you, which is I Am Mora. Is it Moira or Mora?
Mora.
Sorry. So that was also in the town hall, but that would have been what, like 4 maybe years ago?
3 or 4. I think.
But I remember that, like, that show. So like, for anyone that hasn't seen it, it's like a one-woman show where you play a teenage girl, and it was like the mid-noughties or early noughties.
2005.
2005. And it's essentially just about coming of age, growing up in the kind of world where it was like Bebo was kind of coming out and a few things like that, which was class, because maybe feel a bit old, because I was like 13 in 2005, so I was like associating with a lot of the stuff that was discussed in the play, but also like that's the first time I've seen that era being portrayed in a nostalgic light, if you know what I mean.
I know what you're saying.
But I remember watching your performance, which was absolutely class, and just thinking like, how the fuck does someone remember so many lines? like that was like, it was how long was the show? About an hour and a half maybe?
I think it was maybe an hour and 15 or hour 20, something like that.
And it's just you the whole show. Like, it was class. Like, so like, you actually did a bit of a tour. Did you do that in the Grand Opera or the Lyric or the Grand Opera House?
We performed it in the Lyric, and we performed it in the Mac.
The Mac, yes.
In Belfast, and then we also went to theatres like around the in the south as well. Nice. But then we also did a show, the Armagh Marketplace.
Oh, the Marketplace,
theatre. Yeah, we did that as well.
That's cool.
But it was such a I I was so grateful for that part, because not only did it mean so much to me, but I also got to like go to other places, and I did also performed it in loads and loads of schools, which
class.
I think that play resonates so much with people who are still in school.
Absolutely,
and experiencing everything that Maura talks about. And some of the conversations that I had with like some of the like teenagers after were so like heartwarming.
Yeah.
But I'll always remember the first time I performed in a school, and it's so silly, but at the end there was like an A-level class, and the teacher was like, oh, just some of the students would like to ask you a few questions. And I was like, no problem. And I was like psyching myself up, like, Calla, you need to say something really monumental here, because these are young people, and like you can influence like how they think and stuff. And I was like, come on. And this one girl came up to me, and I was like, right, this is my moment. And she was like, I'm so sorry, but I didn't want to ask in front of the group, but I just couldn't leave without asking this question. And I was like, no problem at all, like, please just ask me, you're fine, take your time. And I was like prepping myself too. I was like, come on, give a good answer. And she went, what fake tan do you use? And she was like, I was thinking about it the whole time. And I was like, let me think. It's Bellamy Ante, whatever. The black bottle with the gold writing.
Yeah.
I got it in Boots, I think. And she was like, oh, thank you so much. I needed to ask you before you left. And I was like, no problem.
That's unreal. You probably thought you were about to impart some sort of life wisdom
Literally,
or something.
yeah.
Like, class.
But I was like, fair enough. That is what is most important to that 15-year-old in that moment, is knowing that. So I was like, grand, whatever.
And tell me, do you find, like, see the rehearsal process for like a one-woman show, do you find that, is it any easier because you don't have to bounce off other people?
I think it's almost harder, because when you're working with a company of actors, to be able to bounce off of them is like why you kind of do it. And like that kind of energy, you're like, oh, I think so differently about my character because of the energy this other person's given me, or how they responded to me. And I think because I am Maura twice, so I got really lucky and got to do like a second run of it. Like a year later. But I do remember the start of the process being quite daunting, because I was like, I'm all alone, I'm by myself, and how am I supposed to like change the energy and bounce off of other actors when you're playing the other characters. But the company and the directors and writers that I worked with are the most incredible people on earth, and it sounds so like actory, but there's this thing called the Laban effort.
Oh, I've never heard of
that. Some drama schools will study them, some won't. It just depends like what your course leaders kind of do. But it's basically essentially, you can take it into your own life, like you as Niall or me as Calla. We all have an inner energy and we all have an outer energy, and basically that helped me be able to like bounce off of the characters, because I was like, Maura's inner energy is different to the character of Ali's inner energy. So it's like it shifts, and then that creates so much like body language and physicality around it, and then you're like, oh my god, these are all totally different characters, and it doesn't feel like you're playing them, it feels like you're actually with the other person. I don't know how to describe it, but I felt like I had 20 friends when I did that show.
Fair enough.
And I was like, no, they don't exist, Calla.
No, but that's cool though. Like, isn't that like kind of like the way a lot of actors approach it, where it's like, I suppose that I was going to say Freudian. What the fuck's wrong with me? What do you call the Stanislavskian technique type thing? Like where you're actually believing that like you are embodying that character type thing. Like I did A-level drama. I know this.
You know a few things.
But So like when you say like inner energies, is it more like focusing on what their emotions at the time might be, and how the outer energies, maybe like how they display those emotions? Would it be something like that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Like, because your inner energy will always be opposite to your outer energy. Like, they can coexist, but like I would say, I always use like a visualization of like, for Mora was like, you know, like a duck on water, where the inside, she's constantly going there, like the feet in the water, but on the outside, because she's trying so hard to be liked by the other people, to impress the girl that she wanted to go out with, to prove to her parents that she was all right, that you know, there was this kind of like calmness on the surface. But I feel like all of us have that, and whether it's flipped, maybe you're more jittery on the outside but calm on the inside, it just comes out in different ways. But
that's cool. In terms of like, so oh, what was I going to say there? Jeez. Next up then, the next thing I seen you in was last week. Was the second run of The Importance of Being Earnest then. So that was in the Lyric Theatre. So I was saying, like, I felt so bad because been saying I was meant to get going to the first run. Sandy for ages, we'll get going, and then just because the bereavement in the family recently, been seeing a lot of these, fucking, we're going to this, right? But the day me and Eve went down, I swear to God, I was crippled with the cold. And I'm always the type of person that will be like, oh, I'm grand, like I can just like power through. So it was the Sunday matinee show we seen you. The night before, I really wanted to drink a full bottle of Buckfast.
Nice.
So I was like, I'll do that. Like, and I wouldn't
like
get a hangover
the big
after.
Bottles or the small
the bigger one, because it's something I
course.
always used to do. So I kind of always wanted to prove I could still do it. So two of the lads came around here, right? And we drank a full bottle of Buckfast each. Well, two of us did. The third boy, he's the designated driver.
Okay.
And then I was like, we'll go to the railway for one, and that will be it. I couldn't even finish my pint in the railway because the cold had hit me like a brick wall.
No way.
So I was all like, waking all in the railway.
Oh my
and
goodness.
I was a wee bit drunk, like, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
People listen to this think I'm an alcoholic. But it was like 11 o'clock and I was like, lads, I have to go home. And
I need to call it a night.
They said they know it's bad because I'm never the first person to call it. Like, so I had to go home, and then the next day I woke up. I wasn't hungover at all, but the cold had hit me at this stage. So when we actually, by the time we got to the Lyric, I was like holding in cough so bad because it's not like the cinema. You cough in the cinema, you don't want to throw the actors off. Like, so every time I was coughing, I was like, really struggling. Like, and Aoife wasn't too far behind me. Like, so I had to write to you before because you were like, "We'll meet up after."
Yeah, and you were like, "No, I can't go near you."
Exactly. I had this fear, like, of. Because that is maybe more since COVID, but like a bit of a pet peeve of mine is when, like, you go to hang out with one of the boys and he's like, I'm fucking dosed here, and I'm like, why didn't you tell me that? Like, you know?
No, I completely agree.
So I was like that, but then I was like, if I gave you the cold, there would be like a week of shows cancelled. Like, and I probably would have ended up talking to Megan as well, like,
of course.
So me and Eve went down to see it. I don't know why I'm making this story about me having the cold.
No, but it's vital information though, like context.
Yeah, that's it.
For the day.
But oh my God, the show was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. Like, so for anyone that doesn't know, it's based off the Oscar Wilde play that was first performed in 1930 was it right the first time? I forget.
I think
I'm only getting this off. Megan posted a thing about it being like, like so many years ago. I think it was 1930. It was
Megan
first performed.
will have the facts.
Yeah. Comment on this, Megan.
Please, Megan, drop a text, please.
But basically saying like the first time it was performed in London and like showing the difference between your costumes and what the original costumes are like. But I absolutely loved it so much. And what I'm trying to say is, because I'm not familiar with the play, like the twists and turns of it and all, like, genuinely like gobsmacked me.
That's so good though. Like, that just proves how good of a writer Oscar Wilde was though, know? Like there's a mild twist at the end which maybe a million people seen coming because they're familiar with it, but when it hit I was like, what the? It's like going to see Romeo and Juliet and being surprised when they both die in the end. What the hell? What do you mean?
Yeah. But class, just everything about it. The production quality was so good. Like the the wee animations on the projector
They're
screen,
class, yeah.
unreal.
So good.
The music was class.
Mm-hmm.
The acting obviously was class, but the costumes and all, they were so like unbelievably like flamboyant in like a cool way, like, you know.
No, they were some of the loveliest costumes ever, just to like flout about the stage. And,
Yeah.
you know?
And I actually have it down here to specifically talk about like your physical comedy acting, because like some of the like twirls and like jumps you were doing about the stage, I was like, I would be so out of breath. like do you have to do training for that? Like,
Well, I feel like Amory Morgan's dance training really like equipped me for it.
Yeah.
But I haven't actually danced in about, I don't know, 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So then when I got lucky enough to play Cecily, which is like a dream role because she's so cool.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna make her a ballet dancer, because like what else would she be doing with her time? She has the older.
So that was a choice by you then?
Oh yeah, that's completely just me.
That's unreal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she's not supposed to be. Well, she's not portrayed in that way in any other version that I've ever watched or, well, obviously, like from reading the play, you visualize it in whatever way you see it, but like any versions that I've watched, whether it's film or theatre, Cecily hasn't been portrayed that way. And I was like, oh my god, she's such a weirdo, she's such a weird person.
Yeah.
Like I could do so much with this character, you know. But then I was like, she definitely has so much free time on her hands, and she hates doing her lessons, so she probably just dances about, and she's probably just got really good at it. So I was like, oh, it'll switch the energy up in the play as well, you know, like, because she is younger than the others, and I kind of get it has like a childlike energy and stuff, but that was just me. And halfway through the run, I was like, why on earth did I make this decision? Like, that's my doing. And now I'm literally like, I feel like I'm running a marathon every time I do that show.
That's class.
But,
you definitely wouldn't be able to do that with a cold. Like,
no.
Like one of the reviewers being like, I've seen this a few times now. Cecily was a bit more muted tonight. Like, you know?
She didn't do all those twirls and stuff as I thought she would.
Did you notice the wee program I put up beside you?
Yeah, you're very kind.
That's cool. I was like tidying around here, and I was like, oh, there it is. Like,
it's very good.
But yeah, so if you direct your eyes towards like that is what I mean. Like, but it's not even just the. I'm gonna sound like a gimp here, like, but it's not even just the costumes. There's something about even like the coloring of the posters. Like, it's got like a very clear theme.
Yes.
Which comes across so well, and I think that also came across in everything about the play, like, you know, not just the visuals, but like the kind of the comedy of it, everything, you know, like it just fits so well.
It did, and I think that was just down to like the creative team were all just so like in tune with each other, because like our director Jimmy absolutely adores Oscar Wilde and was like, I have all these visions and they may just be a wee bit more out there, but then everyone else was like, oh, I'm so on board with this. And then like our costume designer Catherine based all of the costumes off of like, you know, like macaroons.
Oh yeah.
Because she was like, these colours are not authentically Victorian period colours, but in my understanding of like a wild universe, these are the colours that would be used. And it was like summertime and like sweets and macaroons and all, so
that's cool. Do you think there's ever going to be a third run on the horizon, or?
I really don't know. I feel like all of us are like really content with what we have done. I mean, like, obviously to do it again would be a dream, because we all get on so well, and you know, because it's a comedy, it's good crack, you know, like you're not going on stage going, oh, I hate this scene. You're like, I love this. But I do think we're all like content with it, and sometimes, you know, like all good things come to an end. So you know, fair enough.
It was like, so we're recording this on a Tuesday. Is today Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Yeah, so the last show was Sunday there, was it?
On Sunday, yeah.
Was it a bit emotional at the end, like?
For some people, and for I mean, like I was emotional inside. I didn't feel really bad, like I didn't cry, but No, but I think everyone was obviously emotional in their own ways, that such a fun experience had come to an end.
Yeah.
And like the friendships that I made on that show are like literally friendships for life.
Class.
Yeah. So even that aspect of it, it's like, I know we were doing the play and we were playing the characters, but turning up to work every day, absolutely adoring the people that you work with.
Oh, that's so nice. Like.
You know, you have to go away from that now and go back to the world in which you were living in before that, and you're like, oh, I am gonna miss the energy of these people and being around them. So I think it was more internal emotions rather than outward emotions.
And here, shout out to Megan, by the way.
Yeah, Megan, we love you.
Yeah, I think it's the second time I've shouted out Megan, because I had Emily Foran on the podcast a while back, and we were talking about her a lot. Like, she's just a great actor. Like, and
Megan,
sure you know more than anyone. Yeah.
No.
I'll come on to the podcast sometime, Megan. Like,
Megan will be so happy that you said that, because when you messaged me, I was in the dressing room and I went, Megan, guess who just texted me? Cousin Niall, and I get to go on the podcast. And Megan was like, I want to go on the podcast.
Would she actually come on? Because I was genuinely thinking of asking her. Like,
they would definitely come on the podcast.
Class, yeah. No, that'd be class.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Megan. Me and Megan go way back. Like, you know that.
Yeah,
Did she tell you when?
Well, I know it's like school days, isn't it?
Yeah, because it would have been, she was in the Abbey School show.
Oh my goodness, right, because of Sacred Heart and all.
Yeah, so she was in West Side Story. I had actually auditioned to be in the show, but they said it was far too good and that I would have outshone everyone.
Yeah.
You know what it was? I was like, and I think this was my problem growing up, where I was always stuck in between like a lad and like a drama kid, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. So I remember going for the auditions, and then it was like dancing auditions, obviously, because it's West Side Story.
Yes.
And I wasn't really committing because I didn't want people to think that I was like some dancing this is my
you
mind.
are toy built in.
Right enough. Yeah, from Community, like
So or for High School Musical.
Oh, sorry, no, I'm thinking of fucking, you know, Childish Gambino from Community.
Yes.
I've never seen High School Musical, so that went over my head a wee bit.
Oh my goodness, I literally, if I had have known that, I would have chosen High School Musical 1, High School Musical 2, High School Musical 3
the trilogy,
for this podcast.
So I would have had to watch all three of them then.
Yeah, because you can't just watch one, you have to watch all three.
It's weird that you say that. See Troy, like the way I thought that was Community there. So Troy in Community is like a jock in like the first season, and then turns into a drama kid. So that also kind of applies.
Yeah. No, that works.
So I was kind of like stuck between there, whereas like I didn't really commit to either, and then just ended up not doing anything. Mm-hmm. But so with West Side Story, then I was like, I'll just do backstage. Yeah. So I just did backstage.
Well, backstage is cool though.
Yeah, it's like the laddiest.
Like, I run the show.
It's like the laddiest thing you can do in theatre. Like, I'll fucking lift this. I don't even think I lifted a thing. I think I just arshed about and had the crack. So that's how me and Megan first met. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Class. That's brilliant.
Good times. Mm-hmm. So this brings me to my next question. I actually wrote this down. So when I was chatting to Emily Foran on the podcast, she, obviously being in the same industry as yourself, said that they're like working in and around Belfast area, and probably further afield, there is a freakish amount of talent from Newry. Would you agree with that?
I do agree with that, because it's so funny, like when you are in a creative environment, that most of the times in the north will be in Belfast.
Yeah.
You will come across someone from Newry and they will happen to be really flipping good at what they do.
Class.
And you're like, what is going on? Like you're oh my goodness. You know?
Oh, that's
so
good.
I don't even think that's like matter of opinion. I genuinely think that's a fact.
Good output coming from Newry, like
Newry seems to produce decent, genuine, good, like creative people.
Class.
So
that's what I like. I weirdly try to promote Newry in this podcast a lot, like so it is good. Like even so, I'm constantly thinking of guests to get on the podcast, and in terms of acting alone from Newry, the amount, like watching Night of the Seven Kingdoms, I don't know if you've been watching it.
I haven't seen it.
Or even How to Get to Heaven from Belfast. Like every so often I'm like, Newry. Newry. And Lewis, my brother Lewis, obviously his girlfriend, who is from Hong Kong.
Yes.
He was saying every time they're watching things together, he like would tell her that person's from Uri, and he would never believe him. Like, so like for example, watching Night of the Seven Kingdoms, Donal O'Hanlon was like an announcer in it. He was like announcing the Targaryens entering the tournament, and then David Pearce DP was like DP, doing like a tug of war and all in it.
And both of them are in How to Get to Heaven as well.
Right enough. I don't think I've got to the Donal episode yet, but I've seen DP in it. And it's weird because like I've met DP like maybe once or twice, and it's usually like having a pint with him in the Bridge Bar, and he's always just so up for the crack. Like,
oh, he is.
And then next thing you're watching him fight Jackie Chan on Netflix. Like, have you literally seen that? Like,
no, but Auntie Tina and Uncle Mark told me about it. And I think they told me about it. It came from them. But I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. So
I've never seen it.
Netflix movie called, I think it's still on Netflix, called The Foreigner. And it's essentially Jackie Chan versus the Ra.
What?
Not even joking. So it's not officially Jerry Adams in the film, but it's Pierce Brosnan playing a character that looks and sounds like Jerry Adams, like, and he is the unofficial head of this paramilitary. So without saying it, it's Jackie Chan versus the Ra. Like, but yeah, it's a mental film. Absolutely watch it. But yeah, DP's one of the henchmen in it, like, and gets battered by Jackie Chan. I'm pretty sure. Like, yeah, so to kind of move into talking about How to Get to Heaven from Belfast, as I said, I'm only like 3 or 4 episodes in. Me and Aoife are so shit at watching TV shows, like even shows we love, because there's nights where, like, as I said, I was playing paddle, or then she will have like the gym late or something. So like I think we only get maybe like 3 nights TV a week, and then it's the thing of being nearly in your mid-30s. You're like, I'm psyched to sit down and watch TV, unconscious within seconds. Like, so we're only about 3 or 4 episodes into it, but I am absolutely loving it so far.
Oh,
like,
well, that's good.
And so I had asked you then around January time, being like, oh, like when do you pop up? And you're like, episode 2, so it's scoring the screen the entire time. Like, but like you've like such a big role in it. Like,
oh, I don't know about big in the grand scheme of the show.
Yeah.
But like for me, I'm like, oh my god, I'm in a couple of episodes. This is amazing.
And you're like talking and all. It's class.
I know. Like I actually have dialogue in scenes. Like, I'm still kind of pinching myself about it, because I'm like, obviously Lisa McGee is so well loved here, and I'm like, I didn't think this was gonna happen, but it was such a fun role, and I was so pleased with the kind of like setup of the 2 characters, because obviously it's like me and then Michael Redmond, who plays Garda Pedder. So
is
it's
that
Pedder
Father Stone from Father
Stone.
Ted? Yeah, unreal. Yeah.
I remember on the first day we were on set, and like I'm a no one in that space, but everyone was like, oh my god, it's your man from Father Ted. And Lisa literally was like, oh my god, I'm so glad to have you in this show. And
unreal.
I was like, oh my goodness, like I get to act with Michael Redmond. This is so fun.
Yeah, classic.
Father Stone.
One of the things I love about the show is how like unique it is.
Yeah.
Like I've even seen people online saying it's like, it's almost like almost Twin Peaksy, but almost like murder mystery, but somehow a comedy, like a dark comedy at the same time. Like
I know it's like so many. It's like a class, wonderful mix of so many genres in one, which is so cool, because not every show is like that. So to fit so many in and to make it so kind of like energizing, and I didn't realize how scary it would be. Like I remember going to watch the first episode, and I literally was like audibly gasping, because I was like, oh my god, like that's actually so scary, you
Class.
know.
It's mad that you're in it and you hadn't expected even the kind of tone of it, like, you know. But no, I'm really psyched to get kind of power through the rest of it. At some stage. But another thing about it, which is class. Don't spill your water now. I love so they're all 38. The main characters are all 38 years old. So I'm nearly 34, so I'm not too far behind them. But a lot of the music in the show is based around music of again, mid-noughties stuff, and it was another, like, God, I feel old, like, moment where, like, I remember Aoife being like, oh, the music choice is very, like, particular. I was like, yeah, it's all, like, when we were young music, like, and the whole theme of the show then about how they're, like, you know, just reminiscing on school days and all, and it's again, like, kind of gave me the same kind of feeling as Ayamora did in that sense, where it's
just
like
the nostalgia
for a time that doesn't feel that long ago, if you know what I mean. And it's only when someone kind of, you know, alludes to it in the theme of a TV show or like a play, you're like, shit, like, you know. But yeah, class. Tell me this now. Have you any, like, upcoming projects you can talk about or anything you're looking forward to?
There's a play that is coming up in May in Belfast, and it's called Mary Ann, the Forgotten Sister, and it's based off of the real life woman Mary Ann McCracken, who people would be aware of her brother, who was one of the first United Irishmen of Ireland, but people aren't aware of her story and how much impact she had on the North, and she brought about kind of education and safety for women and children, and also fought for civil rights during a period of, you know, the period of time in which she was working in Ireland and also across the water in America. And she was just kind of like this massive activist that people aren't aware of, because her brother kind of like took that limelight or that spotlight, but she set up a building in North Belfast called Clifton House, and that is where
I know
that. Like if you're going towards Crumlin, you pass it. It's like that beautiful big building just on the edge of the road. But it's site specific, which is what is really cool about this play. It starts off in Clifton, I'm going to get it wrong now, but it starts off in a cemetery where Mary Ann and her family are all buried. And then you take the audience through the graveyard.
No way.
Through song, through little small bits of like scenes, a lot of Irish traditional music, through into the grounds of Clifton House. You go round all of Clifton House, like the grounds, documenting and telling the story of Mary Ann's kind of like life at that point, and you go through the journey of her life, and then by the end of the play you've entered into Clifton House and you're up the stairs in the kind of boardroom where all of like the meetings and decisions would have been made, and then there's like a really beautiful reflective piece at the end that kind of brings like Mary Ann's kind of fight into the modern day, and you realise just kind of like the impact that Mary Ann had within Belfast, but also how crap things still are, and how Mary Ann really wanted things to change, and they are changing, but we still can do so much better for the people of Belfast and the people of the North, and it's coming back for like the second time. We did it about 2 years ago.
So you've done it before then?
Yeah, so it's coming back.
It's almost like a tour, like a
an immersive like experience.
That's unreal. I'll be at that. Like, absolutely. And like,
I would just say bring your umbrella, because
say,
some of the shows we did, it was like lashing, and we'd be trying to sing, and it'd be like,
I was actually just about to ask you about that. Like, so like, are you just umbrella-less throughout this then?
We had umbrellas that we could walk with, but in some of the scenes when you would have to be a bit more kind of like present, you wouldn't be able to use the umbrella, so you would get drenched. You would get drenched, but it was worth it, because it was such a good story and play.
That's so cool. So, absolutely, be hitting that up. That's class. I was actually just when you say that, Jordan Robinson, I don't know if you're familiar with him, he's a comedian, he's been on this podcast a few times,
Yeah.
but he was doing tours at Clifton House, so I think that's where I've heard of it
very
before.
Good. Okay.
But he's doing a graveyard tour this Saturday I'm going to, actually, and I was just thinking, like, that's an umbrella job as well.
That's
like,
definitely.
So shout out to Jordan, like, so he's like did his degree in like tour guiding and all now, like, so class. But no, I'll absolutely be hitting that up.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much everything. Yeah. Oh no, here. Here's a question for you. What is, and you can say either an actor or director, right?
Okay.
Dream collaboration for you in your career in the future?
Oh my goodness.
Putting you on the spot here.
No, I know exactly the answer.
Yeah.
Well, can it be two?
Far away, yeah.
Right, so literally my dream person to act with or even just work with is Julia Davis.
Okay.
Most people will know her as Dawn in Gavin and Stacey.
Oh.
You know Pete and Dawn?
I've only seen a few episodes.
Okay.
What does she look like?
She's got blonde hair.
Does she smoke and all in it?
Yeah.
Is she the one? And
she's got a really rocky relationship with her husband. They're either so in love or they despise each other.
Who plays her husband again?
He's in loads of stuff.
Guy, but
he's small, he's bald, and he's in 1917 as like one of the commanders.
Yes,
but then he's also in loads of comedy stuff.
I'm pretty sure I know who you're on about. Yeah. So
But
she's your dream collaboration then, actor wise.
Like actor, but even just writer. She wrote and she wrote and acted in this show that I think it was either BBC or Channel 4 put on. It was like years and years ago, but it's a dark comedy called Nighty Night.
Okay.
And that's like my thing. Like it is a wee bit dark, but it's so flippin' funny. And it's but she wrote it. She played the main character in it, and then obviously she's went on to do Gavin and Stacey, but she's done such an array of things. But even just to like do something that she's written or be privileged enough to like be in a scene with her because she's so funny. She's like my dream person.
Class.
And then also just Cillian Murphy because I love him so much.
He's just unbelievably likeable, isn't he?
Yeah, even just to like be in the same room as him would be class. Like I don't even need to work with him, just to admire from afar. Maybe
100%. He's the type of person that I think he would hate me. Does that make sense? I think I'd be a bit much for him. Like I think he'd be like,
I feel like you'd be too good crack or something.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, Niall, stop.
But I feel like if you got him like in a nice like old man Irish pub by a fire and you're just lashing pints with him, I think he'd be good crack.
Oh, he would.
Yeah.
I assume that he is good crack. He just maybe is a bit quiet.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't think he likes all the kind of frills that come along with being as big as an actor as he is.
Yeah.
Even like, did you watch a BAFTAs the other night?
Yes, yes.
Did you see the bit where Alan Cummings was walking around handing out crisps?
Oh my god, that was so good, wasn't it?
Unreal. It made me hungry, like. But what I was laughing at quite a bit was just the relief on Cillian Murphy's face when he didn't go to him. He's just like,
oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Class. Well, there you go. I've actually got. One final acting related question for you, and then I'm gonna hit you with one more. Okay. So it is actually a really big question, and there probably is no official answer to it. But do you prefer stage acting or screen acting?
Stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think nothing compares to it. Like the energy that you feel and the experience of it all.
Yeah.
I don't. As much as I want to give myself like the best chance to do loads of things in my career, that I've never experienced any other feeling better than when you're like in the moment in a scene on stage, like
flow state type thing.
And that can be like the equivalent of anything else for someone that doesn't act, but it's just that one thing that I can't feel from something else.
Yeah.
And theatre, just like there's nothing compares to it.
Class. Yeah.
Not saying that I don't love TV and film, but just the energy of it and the fact that you've only got that one chance.
Yeah.
And
doing it live,
the
like,
decisions that you make in the moment is like how you determine the rest of the performance.
Yeah.
Because as much as you're playing the same character for like every night, you don't do it the same way twice. Even though there's kind of like a blueprint of what you will do.
Yeah.
The things that you feel or the energy that you take from someone else is like always going to be individual to that one time. So I would say theatre.
Cool.
Is the short answer.
Sounds good. Yeah. No, usually the question I would end the podcast with is, well, it's usually two questions. This, if you had to do the podcast again, what's the other movie you pick?
Okay.
But in this one, we didn't do the actual movie you
yes.
picked, so I'm assuming the answer's just Bird again.
Just
like,
Bird,
so then I'll round it off with this. Do you listen to many podcasts yourself, or do you have any good podcasts you could recommend us?
Oh my goodness. There's a really good podcast I listen to sometimes when I can't sleep, and it's just like loads of stories.
Just
but
Cillian Murphy whispering down
Yeah.
a microphone.
Yeah. But in terms of like, and you know, like entertainment podcasts that I listen to,
It's also okay
I
if you don't
just-
listen to podcasts.
no, I don't think I have like a go-to,
Yeah.
but when they pop up, I'll listen to them, like that Jamie Lang and
Oh yeah.
Jamie Lang and his wife. I feel really bad because I can't remember.
I always
her
get
name.
their clips,
Yeah,
and
but they're so different to who I am. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't, like, they're so posh.
that's what I was gonna
but-
say. I didn't think I'd like them as much as I
Yeah,
did just through their
but
clips alone,
yeah,
but they're very
They're
likable. Like,
so likable
Yeah.
and they're just so witty, I think, you know, like, and I think because they're so authentically themselves, like whether that be the fact that they're quite posh, but you know, they kind of just are themselves, and I love listening to their crack kind of thing. But there are other ones that I've listened to that are probably a bit better, but
yeah.
I really enjoy that one.
Good stuff. No.
Yeah.
Well, here, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
That's more than okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
And we'll get you back on later in the year to actually talk about a
Yeah.
specific film.
Yeah.
Like, no, but this is great, crack. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
No problem, Niall.